Hello and welcome to Culture Shocked, the podcast brought to you by four aging millennials and our outdated opinions on all things pop culture. Doug couldn't join us tonight, so he's dead to me. I'm Adrian, and I will be the guest host for this very special episode. Joining me, as always, is Corey.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Mike.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
And Doug. All right, good one, Doug. Anyway, gentlemen, I just have one question for you. Which bear is best? All right, so if you didn't get the hint from our little intro there, tonight we will be talking all about The Office. Now, obviously, this is a very niche subject because not many people have heard of this show. So this is really
pretty unknown.
Pretty unknown. So this is for the purists here. This is for the real diehard fans. We're going to be talking about some characters and moments that we really love from the show, that we connect with. What makes The Office so different from your run-of-the-mill sitcom? And, of course, we're going to be discussing some of that delicious cringe that this show fully embraces. But before we get into specifics, I was just going to ask you guys a few general questions here. And, at your own discretion, feel free to go into detail. Just give a simple yes or no answer, whatever you feel like doing. Question: is The Office, in your opinion, the most binge-worthy show of all time?
When it comes to binge-worthy, are you talking about like in the background when you're doing things, or binging, paying attention fully all the time?
Just rewatchability, like a show that you have on constantly as background noise.
Because honestly, yeah, background noise or casual paying attention and rewatchability, it's probably the show I can most, as soon as the last episode ends, I start the first episode again. It's probably that kind of show. I can rewatch it 1,000 times over in the background. I don't even really have to see it anymore. I know what's going on the screen. So yeah, I mean, I'd probably say for that kind of rewatchability, definitely.
So right from finale to pilot.
Yeah, it doesn't grip me 100% the whole way through. I love it.
Right.
But I don't have to pay attention to it. It's great to have on.
Fair.
I'm the same way. I have 3 shows that I can watch in the background when I'm doing other stuff. I mean, and that's Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and The Office. So
it's a great list.
100% rewatchable. One of the best shows to be able to. I can't think of what you just said was.
Binge?
Binge, yeah. God, words are escaping me tonight, so I apologize. I'm going to really sound stupid tonight, which is not really different than any other night.
Sorry, kids. He's a millennial. He forgets things sometimes.
Oh, so your words escape you, or whatever Bane said. All right, yeah, so that's fair. I would also agree. Just such an easy show to have on the background when you're doing anything in your day. And it's just a show, like, obviously, when you've seen it as many times as we have, you can literally just pop your head in real quick because a great moment's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's great for that aspect.
I'll drop everything I'm doing and pay attention to the screen if something really funny is about to happen.
Said, hold on a second. Did Jim just come in the office dressed like Dwight? Give me a second.
Oh, man.
Now, another general question. Do you think, in your honest opinion, based off the first season, now I know we have all watched the show multiple times. We all love the show. I can still admit that the first season is a bit rough around the edges. A lot of these characters aren't quite fleshed out yet as to who they're going to become, most notably Michael.
Absolutely. He's probably the most changed.
Oh, yeah. He's insufferable in season 1.
The problem is with season 1, I think they were going almost word for word remake of the British version, and it just wasn't working here.
Absolutely.
They weren't even sure after that first season if they were even going to have a show, so they just kind of went full BBC with it and enjoyed themselves on that level because they didn't know it was even coming back.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that. My very first watch of the show, I almost didn't keep watching it because the first season is that cringeworthy. Like, there's a lot of moments that you're like, Jesus, why is seriously right now? And if it weren't for the fact that the first season is only, what is it, like 9 episodes?
I think it's like 6 episodes.
It's not very many. So like if it would have been longer.
Episode 6 is Hot Girl with Amy Adams.
Yeah. Okay, so then there's only 6 episodes. If it would have been longer, I probably wouldn't have kept watching. So yeah, no, I'm definitely glad that they changed it up a little bit. It's not, now that we're huge fans of it, you go back and you watch the first season, it doesn't hurt you like that, or it doesn't hit you like that, you know?
That's actually how I suggest that new friends who haven't watched it, it's actually how I suggest to them to watch it from season 2 on and then go back and watch 1.
Right. Because then one's kind of funny. Then you get it because you know the characters a lot more.
It is.
Adrian, you had an interesting thought on why they did that with Michael Scott, why they changed his character the most. It was either you or Corey.
I don't know if it was like how it translated to American humor or what it might be, but I know they are obviously trying to make pretty much a carbon copy of David Brent. And Steve Carell
Ricky Gervais's character.
Ricky Gervais's character, right, for the UK version. And Steve Carell actually never watched a minute of that because he didn't want to imitate David Brent. I think they had to change his character for the show to survive. The first season, he was, like I said, he was intolerable. It was to the point where you want a character that you can root for. And obviously you have Jim and Pam, but like this guy's the face of the show and he can't be a complete racist, misogynistic asshole. Like there has to be some redeeming qualities to this character.
Yes.
That's what I remember you saying that before. And you think that's, you're like, you can't be a terrible boss and an asshole. You have to have something good about you.
Yeah, right. There has to be like a trade-off somewhere.
Okay. I thought it was you that had said that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know, you need some kind of redeeming quality.
You can't be a complete asshat all the time.
Not many shows can pull that off.
It only works for some people.
Right. It's about the implication of an asshole.
Then following that, actually, I have a question for you too then.
Please.
Do you think, because you said he was the face of the show, do you think that the show dramatically changed, like in a bad way or a good way? Do you think the show dramatically changed after Michael left?
Oh, it definitely changed.
Well, but do you think it was like a huge dramatic change, or obviously it's going to change without him, but like, do you think the comedy changed a lot, or do you think they still followed the same like formula?
Here's my honest opinion, if I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
The big change to me after Michael left is where I feel like in all these seasons with Michael and everybody, the show was about the characters. Like they get themselves into some funny situations, but really the gold of this comedy is from the characters and their dialogue.
Yeah.
Season 8 and 9, I feel like is more about the plot. Like they focus more on plot of the show instead of the characters carrying the show.
You mean plot? Oh no, you said plot. Come on. I thought you were talking about a character.
Because he's always taking dumps. No, I'm not. Plop. And then I love how after Andy leaves, they still call him Plop. Like, we can at least do that for him.
We got to give Andy that at least.
We got to give Andy that.
I will say, one of the things that I did like about Michael leaving was we would have never got the character of Robert California.
Absolutely.
I fucking love that character.
I didn't think he's actually kind of controversial. A lot of people don't like Robert California in that show. But I kind of wish he would have stuck around for both seasons, the last 2 seasons, because he was fucking phenomenal.
James Spader killed that role.
Yes.
He really did.
Jim, do you want to hear an analogy about
the
sex?
Motherfucking Lizard King.
Do you want to hear an analogy about sex or nature? Oh, God, nature. When 2 animals are having sex.
He's too good. Too good.
Ice cream flavor, you won't guess it, not in a million years. Yeah, I love his humor. He was definitely a change of tone completely, but I think he fit himself right in there.
I think it was a lot better than what they try to do with Will Ferrell's character.
Oh my God.
Was it D'Angelo?
D'Angelo Vickers. I remember back in the day when this was happening, when Steve Carell was leaving the show, I actually remember the big controversy of who's going to take his place. Is the show going to keep going? There's rumors of Jim Carrey and even, I don't remember who else was involved. I think actually all those people they had come in and interview were actual prospects of somebody who was going to replace him.
Like they were actually
Will
considering
Arnett
bringing Ricky Gervais in.
Will Arnett and Ray Romano.
Ricky Gervais, I was thinking about it. And I remember this whole controversy, and when they announced that it was going to be Will Ferrell, I was actually really excited
Oh yeah,
because I'm a
yeah.
huge Will Ferrell fan.
I thought it was going to be great.
And then when they brought D'Angelo in for those 3 episodes, I was really upset.
Yeah.
I did not like his character. I thought he was going to destroy the show, and I almost feel like maybe they sensed that, or maybe it was their plan in the first place was to make you think he was there and then gone. I hope that was their plan because I
feel like they realized what they had there wasn't good, so they had to find a way.
Maybe because I don't remember reading that was on purpose anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's just my opinion. I feel like they realized that was just not a good fit.
Yeah, on paper, I mean, it sounds like it could definitely work, like Will Ferrell in that world.
Absolutely.
Especially in that first episode when they meet each other and, you know, the way they meet, and then they go into the office and they're like chasing each other around, and Will Ferrell's like saying, "Oh, did that just happen?" And they run out of the room together. It felt like another Michael Scott was there.
Right. I love their first interaction in the bar when Steve Carell's like moving to Colorado and D'Angelo's like, "Oh, the Sunshine State."
Yeah, exactly. They were setting up another Michael Scott.
And then Michael's like, "I don't do a lot of skiing." D'Angelo's like, "Yeah, everybody I know that has skied is dead." Yeah, that first scene was really promising.
For sure. That scene in the bar, is that like, was it a hotel bar?
Yeah,
or something
the
like
hotel
that?
bar when they're like waiting for each other and they don't know.
Yeah, like where is this guy?
It's kind of ironic because I love that first meeting when he meets him. I hate everything in the middle with D'Angelo. And then I love when he's doing the fake juggling and says he can slam dunk a basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning and end, I love D'Angelo, but
all the middle shit sucked.
It's just all that stuff in the middle.
Just all that bullshit in the middle.
Get rid of the body. Keep the head and the feet.
Yeah, let it hit the floor. We're not doing music. Let's move on.
And we're not talking about Hunter's CD here. That one night.
Oh my God.
Oh, she made him a man.
I was going to say, let's talk about that. I mean, everybody knows this theory. Do you think it holds credibility? Is it true? Is that song about Hunter having an affair with Jan? Is that what that song's about?
For sure.
Dwight pimped little Dwight out to her. He did the same thing.
Oh, right. Clark.
So I think it was kind of almost verified there that she's willing to sleep with her secretary.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was pretty much a proven.
I think that's what that was, thrown in there to prove, oh, maybe Hunter was.
Yeah. You cheated on me when I explicitly asked you not to. Yeah, that's good
How
stuff.
dare you? Oh, I already said that earlier.
Another thing I want to talk about here, because it happens to be one of my favorite, as far as chemistry goes, happens to be one of my favorite couples in any show that I watch, but I feel like there might be some differing opinions here. I absolutely love Jim and Pam. I just feel like they're so compatible for each other. I love how Pam is like, she's funny, she's quirky, she's kind of a dork, and I mean that like as a compliment, unlike Danny Cordray, who really didn't like that about her. But I love their chemistry together, and I love the buildup that they had. I think it took them they didn't get together till the first episode of season 4.
Yes, it was the first 3 seasons they weren't together, and then season
the fun
4
run.
Yeah.
Season 3 is when Jim dates Karen.
Yeah, the whole season 3 is with Karen, and then at the very end of 3, he breaks up with Karen, runs, asks her to go to dinner, and then Ryan gets the job, and that's the end of season 3.
And then Ryan gets the job. You and me are done.
Yep.
I have a lot of questions.
I was going to say, speaking of a Kelly line, I have a ton of questions. How the hell did Ryan get that job?
Because he had the college degree. Because he says in that phone call, I'm excited to have another MB here.
Right.
And I think that means master's, like a person who has a master's in business. Pretty sure that's what he meant by that, MBA.
I believe that's. I mean, I'm not really hip to the terminology.
Yeah, he also could be talking about whatever college they went to, but I'm pretty sure having another MBA here means master's in business.
That is a term for like it's something. I think you're right. It's not a specific. It's not a college specific thing.
I always took it as a master's in business. I think he was the only one of all that group that actually had
like a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go, kids. Get your college degree. It doesn't mean shit. No, I'm joking. Get your degree. Stay in school.
Dunder Mifflin.
But on a serious note, make it through at least 11th grade.
That was the name of the website, right? Wasn't it Dunder Mifflin Infinity or something stupid like that?
Dunder Mifflin Infinity. And then Andy says you should put the words together. Dunder Mifflinity.
Which actually wasn't a horrible idea, but there's been worse out there.
Oh,
but it's hard to say, so it probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
Speaking of Ryan, that's my first fun fact. BJ Novak, first person cast in the entire show.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he was a writer.
They were looking for writer actors.
He was one of the first writers who could actually act on screen.
That's actually, there's something that bothers me is how many people don't like Kelly.
Oh, I love Kelly.
Like there's
Kelly's
a lot
great.
of people. There's a lot of people that think, oh, Mindy's such a terrible blah 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 blah. Like there's so many people that don't like her.
She doesn't do a lot for womankind, I don't think, because she constantly falls for Ryan.
Here's the thing, though. Like people are always bashing her in the actress herself, and I'm like, you people, you do realize that she's wrote I don't know how many episodes of this show, right?
She's one of the funniest women on the entire earth.
Absolutely.
But Mindy Kaling's gotten a lot of shit for Kelly over the years. She's even
Right.
voiced it. But I think it's just because she's kind of a airheaded, almost teenage-brained adult.
She is.
So it's kind
Those
of just
people
she's
do
gonna get
exist.
that shit, you know. Yeah,
It's not like it was not like it was a false representation of anybody.
And I'm pretty sure they brought in BJ Novak first. I think he suggested Mindy Kaling, and I'm pretty sure Paul Lieberstein was never even supposed to be on camera.
He wasn't.
I don't think he was ever even supposed to be on the show.
Everybody just loved him so much, and he's camera shy. He hates being on camera. Every episode that Paul Lieberstein wrote, he has little to no lines. He says Mindy Kaling is the one that writes all of his stuff, and he hates it.
Jenna Fisher dated his brother for years.
Oh, really?
The brother that's on that call at the end when Michael's moving, that's not Paul Lieberstein. That's his real brother.
That's his actual brother.
And Jenna Fisher dated him for a long time.
Okay. Yeah, Kelly has one of the best lines in the series, though. I love, I talk a lot, so I've learned to tune myself out.
Sometimes I just keep going, so I've learned to tune myself out.
The reason I even picked that Mindy line or the Kelly line is because that's the one I quote the most out of that show.
I think I say that a lot, too.
I have a lot of questions. How dare you? Number one, how dare you?
I don't know how many times I use that on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Who says exactly what they're thinking? What kind of game is that?
What kind of game is that?
Daryl says, I love you, but you're crazy. Okay, no, but let's get back to the crux of the matter. I love Jim and Pam. I am. Oh yeah, I was actually going Scrubs, but back to the crux of the matter.
The Horcrux?
The Horcrux. But I love Jim and Pam. I'm Team Jam. I'm Team Pim, whatever you want to call them. I love that couple. One of my favorite in series history. I feel like there's maybe a person or two here who doesn't share my enthusiasm.
Let me just put a disclaimer out there first. I don't hate Jim and Pam. They're a good couple together for sure. I just personally feel like Karen was a better fit for him. That's all. Like they joked the way they joked together, like they were into a lot of the same stuff. And, you know, there's the big glaring issue with Pam that a lot of people have that I've seen over the past couple of years is how she treated Jim when he wanted to go pursue his dreams. Whereas when she went to go pursue hers, he was super supportive.
There's a pretty big difference between the two, though. I mean, when Pam wanted to go do her dream, they weren't even engaged yet. They were just dating.
And they didn't have children.
For him to tell her no, well, that was what I was getting to, is for him to tell her no would have been selfish. But when she was trying to tell him no, they had a home, they had children. She was taking on a lot to let him do that, and that would get very stressful. I can see that I was a single father at one point. That's very hard to not have any help. But I am on both of your side because I'm the one in the middle of this. I love Jim and Pam together. She is perfect.
Way to stand on the fence.
I love standing on fences. And
we're not talking about It's Always Sunny, okay?
Not this time. But I love Jim and Pam together. They are really a perfect couple. But Pam's a little more of a ball buster.
She is.
And I think Karen was a little more fun for Jim. And what I hated the most and what bothered me was they had this plot device of just when they wanted Jim and Pam to finally be together, they just made Karen all of a sudden a jealous, need to know where he is. Why won't you let me move in with you kind of person that she wasn't.
They did Karen dirty.
she was not that person the whole time. And then all of a sudden she was that girlfriend that you don't want anymore.
I started laughing because I remember when Dwight, Michael, and Jim go to the other Dunder Mifflin when she's in charge of, and she's pregnant. And what does Michael say to Jim? He's like, "That's not yours, is it?"
Well, no, I'm just trying to do the math in my head. I'm trying to figure out the last time you and Jim had sex.
Yeah.
It's been clearly over a year.
Yeah, obviously there's no way that's his kid.
I just fucking, that's why
because Jim and Pam are engaged when they're there for that.
Yeah. And then when Jim sees that sees Karen, he fucking does that thing in the seat where he leans back. He's like, "Oh shit, she can't see me."
Yeah, that's a great moment. If you touch one hair in his head, we'll burn Utica to the ground. Dwight, I think I sliced my penis on the lid. If you ever watch the bloopers for that scene, those three cannot get through Dwight saying that.
I don't think I'd be able to get through reading something online either.
No. Oh God, that's amazing. Yeah, but no, that's a great moment. Michael Scott is something else. I love inside jokes. Love to be part of one someday.
He's such a sad sack. If you pay attention to the show, he has so many one-liners that are so depressing.
Oh my God, they really are.
But the way they're timed, they're funny as hell.
It's so hard to listen to because you're like, "Oh, this poor fucker."
And I think that's really the only reason Jim even became friends with him is because he felt bad.
Yeah. There is something you draw on with Michael, like at the end of the day, and you can't excuse his behavior, but a lot of it I feel like he does unintentionally. He doesn't realize that he's like hurting people with some of the things he says. He's just like socially unaware at times. Like, and the thing is like he really does care about the people he works with. I feel like he's really just looking for like acceptance or friendship so bad. Like the dude is trying so hard.
He wants a family. He can't seem to get for himself with a woman.
He does.
So he makes all the people in the office his kids. And
they do a great balancing act of like, one of the best examples is, I think it might be season 2, when Jim is throwing that party and he doesn't want to invite Michael because he doesn't want it to be awkward. Because, your boss there could be weird. And it's like, Michael, what he does is definitely not okay. But like Jim still feels sorry for him when he's up there singing alone because he's like this poor bastard.
And he still gets up there and sings with him.
Still sings with him. I love that moment for Jim.
Because, Jim through the entire show is always protecting people like that. It's kind of part of his character.
He is.
The only person he doesn't really act like that with is Dwight. But
he protects him when he knows he's going to get fired in Florida. He protects
I was going to say, even though like as throughout the series, they eventually develop a pretty like decent friendship.
Later in the series, yeah, they are really good friends. But I do agree early in the show, like Jim is kind of a big dick to Dwight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not to say it's not justified at times. Dwight can be annoying.
Dwight definitely deserves some of the shit that Jim's done.
Right. But like they're legitimately trying to get him to quit his job and like leave the country and like.
But to be fair, Dwight's just as big a dick to him sometimes.
Oh yeah,
he is.
The one episode where he finds out he wasn't on jury duty and he's so happy that Andy's going to fire him.
Oh my God, yeah.
And to the point where he almost quits because he's so mad he won't fire him. Like, and at that point, they're supposed to be kind of friends.
So, yeah, it is a later season.
Was that due to like
because that's when Andy's manager.
Yeah, Andy's manager, and he's the one that finds out.
Right, and Andy's trying to cover for Jim.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was if that was a power play reason or not. I was trying to, because there's been many times.
No, there's literally no reason for him to want Jim fired except that was always his goal at the beginning of the show.
And kind of what I always liked about Jim is I feel like the way the show's set up, I kind of feel like Jim he's like the perspective of like us. You know what I mean? Jim,
like he's the only normal person.
He's kind of the only normal one. And in a lot of ways, like I feel like maybe the show is just as much about him as it is anybody else. Like, Michael Scott is the face of The Office. Like, you look at all the covers, Michael Scott's front and center. But I feel like it's Jim's story to a degree.
I don't think they intended for Jim and Pam to be like the focal point of the show, which kind of became the way that the show worked out, is they kind of became the main characters.
I might be slightly wrong about this. I might be mixing it with a different show, but I'm pretty sure they tried them real quick to make sure the fans actually wanted that the way that they thought they might. and they were going to break it off if it didn't work, but it ended up working. Yeah.
That's kind of similar to the Chandler and Monica thing.
I know with Chandler and Monica that for sure happened.
Yeah.
They were going to break them up if it didn't work.
Their plan, I think their plan there was to break them up, but the audience loved it so much, they're like, we have to keep these two together.
Yeah, I think they were going to have that hiding that they were dating for a while, and then it was going to end. They got such a huge reaction over them two being together, which they didn't expect, that they just left it in there.
Right. Audience is like, you better fucking not.
I know that one's for sure real, but I'm pretty sure that was the same thing with Jim and Pam. They said that the fans always kind of wanted it, but they weren't sure if it would work for real because they were such good friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing with shows like that, when you build up the sexual tension and all that, the will they, won't they crap, if you let it go for a long enough time, and then you finally put the characters together, it usually ruins the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is a big risk that Friends took with Ross and Rachel because everybody says they were on and off, but really, at the end of that show, it was a good 6 seasons between them being
They only really dated through, half of season 2 and almost all of season 3.
And they had the baby together, but they didn't date. And then they didn't get together until that last episode. So, I mean...
If the audience couldn't tell Mike's a romantic, he's like, all that will they, won't they crap.
No, it's funny that I say that. Well, I don't, because it's a thing that a lot of shows do.
Yeah, they do.
It's a way to draw people in. It's a very formula thing that a lot of shows are like, this always works, so we're going to throw it in here.
A love story sells like in any medium.
Like, because I mean, I actually do. I love romantic movies. I love rom-coms. I mean, my top 3 movies had definitely maybe in it. All right, so
you're the only one that had a romantic comedy.
But yeah, no. To me, I
had Braveheart in mind.
Oh yeah, I had Good Will Hunting.
Braveheart's a love story between a man and a country.
When a man loves a country. Oh wait, we're about to get copyrighted.
Well, when he's talking about shooting lightning from his ass.
I think that was the only funny line in the whole movie.
That was pretty funny.
I know what they say about me. I shoot lightning out my ass.
Well, sorry, anyway. that movie wasn't fun at all until that Irish guy came in, the mad Irishman.
I did love that Irish guy.
Then he was funny. But anyway, let's get back to.
But we're not here to talk about Braveheart.
Wait, we're not.
Although I do think enough time has gone on that we could do a Mel Gibson episode. I don't think it would be quite as problematic.
That would be controversial for me because I love a lot of what he does.
He's a fantastic actor. He's a fantastic actor.
He's a great director too.
I told you I can't talk today.
Hacksaw Ridge is amazing.
I fucking love that movie.
Oh, I love Hacksaw Ridge. It's my favorite military movie of all time.
I still feel like Andrew Garfield got robbed and should have won an Oscar for that movie.
Yes, he should have. 100%.
Agreed. But Corey loves Mel Gibson and Kevin Spacey. That's what he's about. Those are the two he always seems to talk about. To their credit, they are brilliant.
Well, and then you have that comedian that you really love that was also really controversial. Both of you. Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
I'm not even going to argue that one. I do love Louis C.K.
Okay. So I just want to say about the Jim and Pam thing is I was just talking about Good Will Hunting, and I feel like I could steal a line from Robin Williams in there. I got to tell you something, champ. You're not perfect. And this girl you like, she's not perfect either. The question is if you're perfect for each other, that's what it's all about. And I feel like Jim and Pam kind of, I feel like Jim that whole time knew that was when you love somebody, like it's just, that's what it is. You have like rose colored glasses for them. And Pam was always his girl.
Love is an imperfect system. You're not always going to be in love with them that day. Sometimes you're going to hate your partner. Sometimes you're going to need to be away from them.
You could almost say it's a battlefield.
If you are sparkly in love with your partner all the time, they're cheating on you or you're cheating on them. It's not perfect.
Are you listening, Gen Zers?
I will. I will say this. Jim's definitely a far better option for Pam than Roy.
Oh
yeah.
That's no contest.
But to Roy's credit, he really got his shit together.
He did.
Well, after that DUI picture.
And he rightfully punched Jim. So, I mean.
Well, he didn't punch Jim. He went to punch Jim.
Oh, right. Oh, isn't it Dwight stepped in, right? Yeah.
He pepper sprayed his ass.
Pepper spray.
Fuck.
Dwight to the fucking rescue. And yes, and let's just go down the list here. Since we're talking about Dwight, obviously he easily could be the case for like the MVP of this show. First of all, he's the only character to appear in every single episode, so you got to give him props right there. Jim was in every episode except Mafia, where you just heard his voice. So, yeah, Dwight was the only character. Rainn Wilson's the only character in each episode. And I feel like, as far as a character arc goes, I feel like Dwight might have had the most complete, like 180, like the most complete character arc of the show.
I would agree with that. I mean, he was still always very Dwightish, like throughout the entire show. Like that
you can't
personality.
Take away Dwight.
Yeah, he was always Dwight. Like I mean, he didn't change to that degree, but like as far as like his personality, like for personal relationships and like developing friendships and stuff with people, he became more caring as the show went on.
Yeah, and I think he's.
You mean that motherfucker got soft?
He got soft.
he got a little soft. Yeah.
Yeah, he admits like in the finale that Pam's his best friend.
Yep.
And I think Pam really helped him in that regard.
There's a scene where you see him bawling in the stairwell.
Oh my god, I love that scene.
He actually almost goes to embrace Jim, and Jim's already had walked away. Or is that now? You talking about the one with Pam or Jim?
The one with Jim, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and he like goes to embrace him almost, like give him a hug almost, and he's not there now, and then he kind of just pulls his arm back in.
That's after Angela left him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really felt for the dude, like he was miserable.
Oh, for sure. Dwight's one of my favorite characters of the show, so I mean
that was actually an improv by the producer. When Jim was beside him in the stairwell, the producer like shooed Jim away.
Oh, nice.
He thought it would be more powerful. Dwight was supposed to like embrace Jim, and he thought it'd be more powerful if Jim left. That
was a beautiful call because that sticks in my mind more than if he had put his arm around him.
Yeah, it does. So, of course, we're going to talk about these main characters. Everybody. There's the Jim, the Dwight, the Michael, the Pam. So, what I want to focus on more is I don't want to do an hour and a half of like this is why Michael Scott's great. So let's talk about some of these people that don't get as much love. I know we already brought up Robert California. I think we're all on the California train.
Oh, for sure.
Loved his performance. I guess I'll start with either one of you. Let's throw out a side character that you want to give some love to.
Are you talking about like characters that are part of the main office but aren't like a main character?
It could be main office. It could be, someone that's in a couple of episodes. It could be a regular that's not like the big four, big three.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, Stanley sticks out for me.
Oh, okay.
I fucking love Stanley. His I
Stanley
don't give a shit attitude to everything is beautiful.
His lazy sarcasm is the best.
Yes.
But mine is definitely Creed. Everything Creed says is perfect.
Creed.
He's fucking amazing. Can we talk about somebody in the office that we fucking hate?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't think Meredith should have been part of the show at all.
Who's that, Meredith?
Meredith?
Yeah.
I don't like anything she did. I love her as an actress. She's great.
Kate Flannery.
But that character just would not have lasted there as long as she was there.
Well, I mean, we are talking about Creed as well. Creed wouldn't have lasted.
Creed was in charge of Quabity Insurance.
He said, what's wrong with that lady asking me what I do? What do I do? Quabity Ashwitz. Quabity Ashwitz. No, that's not it, but I'm close. I wrote down surprisingly, some of my favorite moments in this entire series are these tiny little moments between Creed and Jim. I wrote down two specifically. One is when they're playing chess, trying to avoid all the drama.
That's my favorite moment between them.
And Creed says, I want to set you up with my daughter. Jim says, oh, I'm engaged to Pam. And then he goes, I thought you were gay. And he's like, well, then why would you want to set me up with your daughter? And Creed's like, I don't know.
It's perfect, man. It's perfect.
That is just Creed to a T. That's his character. And then the other one is when Jim decides to throw all the birthdays at one the same day. And remember, everybody's asking for their own cake, and Andy wants Fudgy the Whale. Yeah, Creed pulls him aside, says, I want a pie, I want a peach pie. And Jim says, I'm going to talk to Angela. We're going to see if we can get you that pie. And he says, I don't care who you talk to, just get it done. Jim says, it'll be Angela. And then Creed says, tell her it's for Creed. She'll know what that means. And Jim
that-
just gives this look.
Stuff like that right there is why Creed is in my top 5 favorite characters, period. Not
Yeah.
just side characters.
Creed is legendary. And then the other big one I wrote down for him, that's so stupid. It makes me laugh every time. When he says, when Pam gets Michael's old chair, I get Pam's old chair. Then I'll have 2 chairs. Only one to go.
What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean?
The Halloween episode where he says, I didn't realize it was Halloween. That's lucky. There's blood all over his shirt.
His blood all over
What the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
At the end of the series, you see that he's like a wanted criminal.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's probably some kind of serial killer or something.
The last man to steal from Creed Bratton and get away with it? Creed Bratton.
Which makes me wonder, did he kill Creed Bratton and take his name?
Ooh,
Yeah, that's-
Or
shit.
is he the Creed Bratton he was talking about?
Yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole now.
I love when he shows up at the final episode when they're doing the thing on the stage, and he's got the fucking beard and
He's in the audience. God, I love that.
I always knew throughout the show that Creed Bratton was part of the Grassroots back in the 60s, but I had never really listened to any of it. And then that last episode when he's singing that song, that gets me. That song is beautiful.
Oh, I saw a friend today. It had been a while.
I still sing that opening line a lot.
Oh, I learned that song on guitar just because of Creed. Like, I love it.
I downloaded it when I heard him sing it, and I've listened to it quite a few times since. It's gorgeous. It's a great song.
I actually don't mind your idea about getting into characters we hate, but since you both brought up one side, let me do one. And I mean, we can talk about more. You know, we can go at whatever pace we want to. Really,
I just want to mention that one. Really,
there's one that bothers me a lot too. But we'll go ahead, Adrian.
my side character, and along with Creed, this person did not get enough time, is fucking Mose.
Oh God, yes.
I love everything Mose does.
I love the way he runs.
Oh my! Every scene he's in is fucking magic.
Every time somebody says something to him and he doesn't like it, he just runs away. And the way he runs is fucking hilarious.
Absolutely. One of the things when I was doing research for this episode, I was trying to remember some good moments. I replayed this like 4 times, and I was laughing like a crazy person. It's when they're all going to that garden party or whatever, and Mose like takes Toby's car to valet park it.
yeah.
And he just drives at full fucking speed into the cornfield. He's like, you have to give me your car. You have to give it to me. Toby's like, well, careful. It's a little bit tricky. And he just like steals his car, drives right into a fucking cornfield.
Just so you can
Like-
run over the ramp and run over the cars.
Yeah. Just the way they shoot that scene is so abrupt. It fucking makes I die every time.
My favorite
God.
Mose is the interview.
Oh, I wrote that down.
Oh, when he
Oh.
interviews him, holy
When
shit.
Dwight's interviewing him, he said, I have high hopes as far as Mose goes.
Dude, Michael Schur in real life is a brilliant man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember where he went to college, but he like graduated top of his class, and he's so fucking smart.
He writes this, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
He
He's
wrote
been part of a lot of big ones.
a lot of big shows. Yeah, I can't think of the other third huge one that he wrote, but yeah, but the interview is, we live together, right? And I've never seen you go to work ever. Mose is like, okay. So why did you put that on your resume? And then Mose just gets up and fucking bolts out of the office. And then it shows out the window. I'm just running down the street.
As if he's not going home to where
As-
Dwight lives anyway.
He's not going to see Dwight in a couple hours.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love the most about Mose is anytime like he doesn't say anything, he just gets up and runs.
I love him. Yeah, there was just such. I loved his character so much. I understand why he didn't have a bigger role.
Well, yeah.
If we ever would have got that farm show, you never know.
He probably would have been like, yeah, he was obviously going to be a major character. Maybe not a major character, but
He would have played a bigger part. Oh, and then one other thing I wanted to mention with Mose is just this is a line with Dwight that cracks me up every time. I think this is season 2. It was season 3, right? That's when Jim's in Stamford.
yes, the beginning of season 3.
Yeah, so season 3, this is when Dwight is trying to like recruit Ryan to be like his new. And I love Dwight says, Mose will always be my best friend. Unless things go well with Ryan today, in which case I won't hang out with Mose so much anymore. Like, he really sold him out.
And I'd like to go back and point something out, Adrian. Michael Schur created Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, that was the one.
Yeah.
I can't believe I
Okay.
couldn't think. That's like my second favorite show on that list, Under the Office.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Toby's got moments where I can't stand him. Like he's got some cringe moments, especially when he's trying to hit on Pam.
Oh God.
Oh,
But
God.
I can't
The hand on the
stand.
thigh.
I can't stand Oscar, honestly. The only time, like his moments with Angela when it came to the senator were great, but other than that, like his character is that know-it-all. Like obviously he played the part well because I couldn't stand him. Like that was the whole point of his character.
I think the problem there is we've all worked with that guy,
Exactly,
and none of us like that guy.
Everybody has worked with that guy. Absolutely.
I'm like, fuck this guy.
And I wrote
Meredith. To me, was just like I would just, when her scenes would be on, she'd say something. I'd like kind of stare at the screen and then shake my head like, what?
Yeah, like what just happened?
Mike, if you want some advice, it helped me a lot because I didn't really like Oscar that much either. But if you go and watch interviews with him and other things he's been on, go
Yeah.
back and watch The Office and you'll appreciate him a little more. Oscar Nunez is fucking phenomenal. He's hilarious.
The only other thing I've ever seen him in, other than The Office, is The Proposal.
Yeah, he was good. He was good in that. He's very good. He does everything in that town.
If you go through and watch the bloopers of The Office, he is like the character that never breaks. He
he's
broke
very good.
one time in the entire series.
Oh wow!
And that was just from Ed Helms being really stupid and over the top.
I don't know if either of you have talked about or listened to the Office Ladies podcast. It's really, really good. But they had Oscar on and they talked about that, how he never broke and they can never get him to break. He's just so focused all the time.
And anybody listening, if you love The Office as much as we do, check out The Office Ladies. Great podcast
it's phenomenal.
Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
Thank you for sponsoring us, ladies.
Yeah, and ladies, thank you for sponsoring us. And also check out Brian Baumgartner's Office podcast as well.
Oh, I love Kevin.
Oh, that's right. He does do one too.
He does, yes.
He does a great one.
He's a huge Packers fan, so that's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, then I'm not listening.
We won't talk about that. Him and John Krasinski played Madden every single day on their lunch break.
Nice.
I believe.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing I wrote down one quote of Oscar's that I love. I tried to get like a quote or two from each person in case we brought them up.
Oh, nice.
I have a quote from Oscar that I love, and then I have two little fun facts about him because you guys know me in fun facts.
This is Adrian's Fun Facts.
It's fucking Adrian's fucking fun fact. We're trying to make a theme. It's in process.
Sponsored by the F word.
Yeah, that's right. If anybody writes music, you know. But the Oscar quote that I love makes me laugh every time. This is about the Finer Things Club. If you know it, you already know it. He says, besides having sex with men, I'd say the Finer Things Club is the gayest thing about me.
Oh, that is a really good one.
I love that line so much. The way he delivers it too is just great.
Oh,
so deadpan. Really. And then as far as Oscar goes for fun facts, you guys probably know this, you know. Well, I'm reading these fun facts. Some of these are going to be ones that all of us know, but hey, might be someone out there that doesn't. The kiss, the gay witch hunt, the episode. Steve Carell improvised that kiss. That was not planned. That was supposed to be a hug. The look on all of those actors' faces is 100% genuine.
And if you want to go back and look at the faces, please watch Ryan's because it's the best one.
It is great. He's got the wide eye.
And he's like side looking out of his fingers like.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
We will talk about that here a little bit again.
And then are you guys aware, this is a little fun fact, are you guys aware why Oscar was chosen to be the gay character?
I'm not.
I don't.
Enlighten me.
So the writers decided they wanted a gay character for the show, and Oscar Nunez came to the table read wearing a pink shirt. That was it. That was it. That was it. They're like, "Hey, are you okay being the gay character?" And that was it.
And he was just like, "Yeah,
yeah." Well, of course, he's a professional actor.
You know, now that I think about it, I kind of like that for him the most out of any of the characters.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody else would have been able to carry that helm quite the way he did. See how I said helm? He's the other one that could have done it. But seriously, I think Oscar Nunez, I think he did good things for the gay community. They really enjoyed his character. And I don't think anybody else could have pulled it off quite like he did. So bravo in that.
Bravo, yeah.
What Mindy didn't do well for the women community, Oscar did great for the
Right.
gay community.
Right. Shoe on the other foot, kind of 180 parallel. I do love the Andy scene with Jim though, where he doesn't know if he's gay. Would you be willing to take that bullet for me? He said, what are you doing tonight? Jim's like, no. Jim's like, well, you need to have sex with a girl. I can do that. Then you need to have sex with a guy. Ooh.
There are so many moments in that show that probably wouldn't hold up now if it were made
Yeah,
today.
exactly. Could be problematic. Doug might listen to us and be like, what the fuck?
Oh, he's going to want to take some of this out, I guarantee it.
No,
this stays. Mike, did you have... Oh, Corey, you said Meredith. Mike, did you have a character that you wanted to talk about that you don't like as much?
That's Oscar was that character.
Oh, yours was Oscar.
Yeah, I said the only time I actually I loved the whole back and forth between him and Angela when they were both dating the senator.
and then Brian Baumgartner gives it to the senator.
Oh my God, right?
You're a horrible person.
Out of left field. I love that moment from Kevin.
Me too.
He's like, you're a horrible person, by the way. Great food, though.
Kevin's definitely one of my favorite side characters, too.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin.
Hands down.
Yeah, how can you not love Kevin?
But they made him dumber and dumber every season. I didn't like that entirely.
You know the theory, right?
No.
When what's his name came from Stamford, the guy that was in prison for a while.
Steve.
What
was his name? Steven? I don't know.
But remember, he says he was he served time in prison for insider trading.
Yeah.
So Kevin says what he's talking about sounds like what I do here every day. And from that point on, his character gets dumber and dumber. So there's a conspiracy theory that Kevin's playing up his dumbness,
so they won't think he possibly could do that.
Exactly.
That's not a bad. It's not bad.
Not a bad theory, because in the first couple seasons, Kevin's not like a complete idiot.
No,
he's just that fun fat guy that everybody works with, you know.
And he's a good drummer.
And he's a great drummer. Yeah,
great drummer. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's Kevin.
Scrantonicity.
I heard your band. It rocks. You want to play our wedding? Did Pam say that was okay? Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm in charge of the music. My new band, Scrantonicity 2, not Scrantonicity. Oh yeah, how can you not love Kevin though?
Adrian, did you have a character you couldn't stand?
I do.
Because I know you didn't say anything.
I do, and I don't mind her as much in the first few seasons, but from about season 4 on, I hate everything Phyllis says.
Really?
I hate Phyllis so much. She's like, she has these cringe moments that, just like when she walks into the break room and Jim and Pam are just sitting there having her lunch, and Phyllis is like, "Oh, sorry guys, I couldn't see your hands." And
yeah, that line was stupid. And
then when she's like, "Oh, Pam, I just want to let you know you have to put a customer through to a random sales representative, not just who you're sleeping with that week." What the fuck are you talking about?
Here's the thing: is Phyllis got a little too big for her britches when she was dating Robert or Vance Refrigeration.
Bob Vance Refrigeration.
Vance Refrigeration.
Oh, you mean Bob Vance Refrigeration?
Yeah,
she marries him.
Because, well, yeah, but at first she's dating him, and she starts to get more and more full of herself, and there's a lot of hints in there that he's part of the mafia or something. She constantly says things like, "Don't make me get Bob involved," and then she goes away from that. Never mind, I shouldn't have said that. So I think maybe she just became kind of a mafia wife or something.
I could see that.
But yeah, some of the stuff she says is empty threats that don't go anywhere. And
close your mouth, honey. You look like a trout. What? What the fuck are you talking about, Phyllis?
When Karen's like, "What does that smell?" and she finds out it's fucking Phyllis.
Oh, I think I'm allergic to your perfume. Bob Vance bought me this perfume. Who? You have a lot to learn about this town, sweetie. A few more that I'm not crazy about. The later seasons, I really didn't like Pete.
Yeah, no, Plump sucks. Plump's his friend.
Yeah, right. Plump's Dwight Jr. I was okay with Clark.
Clark Duke's an excellent. I love Clark Duke as an
Clark
actor.
Duke is awesome.
Amazing.
His whole storyline was a little bit troublesome, trying to trick Aaron into kind of sleeping with him. That was pretty sleazy.
That's a bit much.
That was
But
sleazy.
that's why they gave him the whole storyline of sleeping with Jan for a couple weeks.
Right. No, I like Clark other than that one problematic moment. Pete to me is kind of like, I don't know, the way they set up his character is like, in a lot of ways, I feel like he's like too perfect. Like all these characters in the show like show their flaws.
He was the anti-Andy at the end there.
They basically tried to make. It almost seemed like they just tried to make another Jim.
I guess kind of. I don't know, for whatever reason he didn't resonate with me.
I didn't like that. You can't have two of the same character on a show. It just doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, Pete didn't bother me quite like he seemed to bother you two, but
I just honestly the whole ninth season was weird for me.
Season 9 was strange.
I don't hate season 9 like I hate season 8 of that 70s show, but it definitely was a lot different for me.
Season 9 of The Office definitely was saved by having a really good finale episode.
Great finale.
I think if it had ended bad, that whole season would have been ridiculed, but because it ended okay.
And also, Assistant to the Assistant Regional Manager was a really good episode, where Dwight holds tryouts. Yeah. That's a great episode. I mean, there's a few gems in season 9, but overall, it took a weird direction.
There's one major gem in season 9, and that is the runner-up for Michael Scott in the first place. Bob Odenkirk gets in a whole episode.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he gets to be Michael Scott. So that was great.
And for anybody listening, fun fact: Bob Odenkirk was almost Michael Scott.
Whoa!
He was the runner-up.
It really shows us what he could have done in that season.
And you know what? He would have nailed it. I think he would have been a good Michael Scott as well.
If we didn't know what we were missing, he would have been great. Like, we wouldn't have known any better.
Yeah, usually when they say, oh, this person was almost this, I can't see it, but that one I definitely could have seen.
And for all you young people that say he's just Saul Goodman, even though that's one of my favorite characters of all time, the dude wrote a fucking hit comedy sketch show for years with David Cross.
Listen, before he was Saul Goodman, he was the waiter who gags taking orders, okay?
Yes, he was. I love Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. The finale definitely helped the show a little bit. That was definitely an emotional moment. I also had a character they absolutely ruined. He got a little redemption with his song there, but man, Andy.
They destroyed his development.
They butchered Andy so hard at the end.
I couldn't stand Andy at the end.
It was so hard to see this character that I've grown to love for like 7 seasons.
Just turn into a complete D-bag.
Yeah, I would say anything like post-anger management. Like, he was funny for what he was like in the 2nd season. I mean, in the 3rd season when Jim was in Stanford. But his character was definitely annoying. And like after he got out of anger management, I feel like they kind of reworked Andy's character. So anything post-anger management and before season 9, I fucking love Andy so much. And they just butchered him. Like I said, I love that song, I Will Remember You.
Absolutely.
That's a great send-off for him.
I loved his version of that song.
I did too. It's another song I learned just because of him. The Office taught me songs, okay?
And I would like to throw in a little fun fact of my own.
Yeah, please.
I said that wrong earlier. It's the waiters who are nauseated by food. It was from the Dana Carvey sketch show, and it was him and other Office cast member Stephen Colbert, Broccoli Rob.
Oh, Broccoli
They
Rob.
were the two waiters who gag reading food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was Stephen Colbert and Dana Carvey.
Yeah. No, it was Stephen Colbert
and Bob Odenkirk.
And Bob Odenkirk.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I thought Bob Odenkirk was in there.
Oh, no, I'm wrong again. Let me rework that. It was Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell.
Oh, okay.
So I completely got that wrong.
Doug, we're going to skip forward a bunch of this and edit it out. Doug's like, nope, we're keeping it.
Yeah, probably. But I corrected myself, so I don't want any comments.
So let's get into we've already talked about some of them. Any moments, what are some of the real big moments in this show? Whether it's a funny moment, a sad moment, a heartwarming moment. What are some of the, maybe even a whole episode? What's something that really sticks with you?
I can give you one that makes me cry almost every single time I watch it.
Absolutely.
It's the episode where Pam watches the DVD that Jim has them make for her.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking to Dwight about how he's always loved Angela.
Absolutely.
He always has. And Pam's watching that disc at the same time. And when he hands her the note and she reads it, Which, by the way, fun fact, that was a real note that John Krasinski wrote to Jenna Fisher about how much he loved working with her and how much he'd miss her.
Oh,
And it's real. She has that note still. She has the teapot still.
that probably really made her cry when she was reading
She
it.
actually read that in that scene, and those reactions by both of them crying was real.
That's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that is definitely a great moment. I love how they bring the note full circle from the teapot. That was a really cool idea.
Yeah, because when you're watching that the first time through, you see him take it, you kind of wonder what happened to it then, but you completely forget.
Once they get together and stuff, you forget about it.
You
Like,
completely forget. Like, it's just blown off, whatever. He must have thrown that out. But then to see her watch that, get confused, and then he pulls it out of his back pocket is brilliant.
yeah, absolutely.
I would say one of the ones that sticks with me a lot. I don't know why I love it so much. Is the Asian gym the scene at the beginning of the one episode?
It's so good. It's so good.
Dwight's just so fucking confused.
Randall Park, who is getting more famous now,
Yes, he is.
he nailed that part.
He's like, "What are you
Weird
talking
joke,
about?"
Dwight.
Yeah, he's like, but I'm glad you see past race.
Yeah.
Good for you. Kudos for you enough for not seeing race.
You're not Jim. Jim's not Asian.
Oh, I love it. He picks up the picture and
Oh,
it's,
the picture.
it's Pam, him, and two little Asian babies.
Pam,
Oh, it's
Pam and
fucking
Pam and they
great.
kiss.
Yeah, she gives him a peck. I love the sound Dwight makes when he looks at the picture. No.
Oh, it's so good. And then it cuts to Pam talking about how Jim just had the day off. They decided to mess with Dwight.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
God.
One that I will definitely talk about. I know, obviously, like we could all sit here and talk about Dinner Party because that is a brilliant. That's a brilliant episode.
God,
It has every single aspect we're talking about: emotion, fun, cringe. It has all of them in one
it
episode.
really does.
That fight between Michael and Jan is just legendary.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You're hardly my first. That's what she said.
Good luck paying me back on your $0 an hour job with benefits, babe. He still
Babe.
calls her babe even though he's screaming at her.
Yeah, I love that.
Brilliant.
Pam's like, I know she didn't poison the food. I know that. But if she did, wouldn't it make sense to poison me, Michael's former lover? And also, one of the best bloopers of all time is when Michael's folding in his little TV. Right over here, Jim.
It's 5 minutes of them not being able to stop laughing.
Jim is laughing like a little schoolgirl. Like, it is so funny. That's a great blooper. And ironically, fun fact, that is the only episode where the script was never rewritten, which is crazy because it's a masterpiece.
That's
That's
impressive.
insane.
Yep, that was the only one that was wrote once, and that was it. They just went with it.
Maybe they should stop rewriting stuff.
Right. But one I'm going to go with, even though I snuck it in and talked about Dinner Party anyway, because let's be honest, we were gonna. But
It's a staple.
another one of my favorite episodes is drug testing. That
When
is
Jim
just,
turns it around on him, man.
oh my God.
That's the best.
Yeah, Dwight with, like, I think the line is just perfect from Jim when he says, it turns out Dwight finding drugs is more dangerous than most people taking drugs. That's pretty much what that whole episode entails, is Dwight just being crazy.
That scene where Jim starts trying to convince Dwight that he's the one smoking marijuana.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
like-
Like, he turns it around on him. So
How
how
would
much
you-
pot did you smoke?
Marijuana is a memory erasing drug. That's not how it works. Well, how would you know how it works?
Hey, I'm the one conducting the interview.
You said when you said when I came in here, I would be conducting this interview. Exactly how much pot did you smoke? Dwight's
Fucking-
face. Is
My favorite one though is when he shows Creed. It's Northern Lights Indica. No, it's marijuana.
no, it's marijuana.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that entire episode. I can't remember. I'm trying to think now. Steve Carell says I went to an Alicia Keys concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were passing around these clove cigarettes, and maybe they were just clove cigarettes. But there was a girl with a tongue ring, and I'd never
seen that before.
yeah, I love the entire drug testing episode. That one
That's a
always
great
sticks with me.
Who is it that says, I don't know if you remember me, I have the green pea? Oh, it's Dwight. I have the
Yeah.
green pea, and she says, oh, did that clear up? Yes, it went away.
Oh, how are you? All better. And I love Ryan too. He's like, "Are you guys hiring? You want to work in a urology lab? Maybe."
He's just trying to get out of there.
Ryan's just trying to get any out he can. I could clean my desk in 30 seconds, and they'd all forget, and I'd forget too. I love Ryan's lines about just not work. I love to go back to the episode when Dwight's like trying to recruit him. And Dwight's like, just to think that temp agency could have sent you anywhere. Ryan's like, yeah, I think about that all the time. Now, let's see. As far as something that pulled on the old heartstrings, Corey, I think you already went with a kind of a sad one. We talked about Jim singing with Michael at karaoke. I really love that moment. I love that Jim was the bigger man, even though Michael was totally out of line to come to the party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally out of line. And I love the interactions between Dwight and Pam, which we touched on.
Yeah, I think I already talked about the one that I think gets me the most is Dwight's balling, and Corey talked about like when Jim walks away and he goes to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the one that gets to me the most. And then there's the obvious one that, you know, the proposal scene out at the gas station,
which cost them $250,000.
It was the most expensive shot ever shot in the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because they had to like build that gas station and get fake rain and.
But to me personally, like as far as like Jim and Pam moments go, I think the one that I like better though has to be when he breaks up with Karen and pops in as she's doing the interview.
Oh
like,
my God! Yeah,
want to get dinner?
Right at the end of season 3.
And that just that look on her face.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jenna Fisher nails that emotion.
There's a really subtle one that always makes me proud of Dwight is when Pam's out in the hallway crying and Dwight comes out and says, "Who did this to you? Is he still in the building?"
I know.
Like that, he's automatically protective of Pam.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, Dwight is ready to like literally mess somebody up for like what they did to Pam.
He sits down and he tries to put his arm around her and make her feel better, but he doesn't know how to do it.
And you know, that shows that he cares, but he's kind of socially awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say the other moment with Dwight and Pam I love is when Dwight lets Pam win. Like when he puts up that huge sign on the building and she's trying to get it taken down and she's lying about like a new office building.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He gives Nate the page in the rule book to make him put the lights back to normal. And
I love that reveal that Pam's struggling and Dwight sees her and like Dwight looks like he's about to cry because, you know, Pam's crying and just that smile that he gives at the end when Pam's all happy. I love their relationship. You know, I love how it developed. And it all started because Dwight got a concussion.
yeah.
Pam's like, hey, Dwight can kind of be cool. Don't you think Dwight's been acting weird? No, he's actually been super helpful. And that's not weird.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked Corey didn't mention this as one of his favorite scenes is, you know, when Michael hits Meredith because how much he doesn't like Meredith.
Yeah, right.
Okay, just because I hate Meredith doesn't mean I want her to get hit by a car.
Or, you know, when Dwight hits the bat on her head or whatever.
Oh, God. This is the face
That's
of
funny.
rabies. This should scare you. It scares me.
Now, that being not liking anything that Meredith really does or says on the show is different from she's a good character when they like beat on her.
Oh, yeah.
When she's the butt of the joke, she's very good. But when she's focused
They do the
on,
rabies run because of her, right?
yes,
They
Yeah.
do.
when she's the focus, I don't like any of it. And the fact that I think what sullies her the most for me is that finale episode when they're all having their beautiful last lines. Hers is, you're not the only one to take a dump on a copier. Come talk to me. We'll have a drink.
Yeah.
She ruins it. They're all having these beautiful moments, and hers is about taking a shit on a copy machine. No, it's not funny.
Literally, like,
That's kind of a cringe moment.
that's a cringe moment.
It is. I fast forward it.
Even Creed gives a beautiful monologue at the end about like
Yes.
how humans have this innate ability to make anything home, and like I love that moment. Like I got this job because they were hiring. I sat in that desk because the seat was open. Like humans have this great ability to make anywhere they are home. And then you're not the only one to take a dump in a printer. Like what the fuck?
Come on.
Like even Creed had a great line, and you give Meredith that.
Andy's line about not knowing what you got till it's gone.
I wish you knew when you were in the good old days when you were actually in them.
Nothing makes me feel the feels in that scene though more than Jim's final line.
Absolutely, everything I have, I owe to this stupid.
Beautiful.
But wonderful, yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Amazing job.
I love
It's
that.
great.
It is great. And then Pam Pam ends the show fittingly, I feel like.
Yeah. She has a great line, but Jim's is the one that gets me.
Oh, Jim's is the best, the best line of dialogue in that whole series of events. What is it? Stress relief. That's one of the greatest scenes in history when Dwight starts the fire.
Yes.
That entire sequence. Oh my God, it's happening.
Do you know why that was such an epic scene to film? Because I don't know if you remember this, but we were actually watching the Super Bowl that kept commercialing on. They were going to show that was a premiere episode that was coming on after a Super Bowl. So they shot like a crazy fucking scene to have an awesome preview during a Super Bowl. And it played that whole, I don't remember I wish I could remember which Super Bowl it was, but I remember that scene. That is actually when I started caring about The Office. I was like, maybe I should check this out. And that's when I actually went back and watched some of it.
I can't imagine how much it cost to run that on the Super Bowl.
By then they were pretty well established.
Absolutely.
They had the revenue, but yeah, that was why that scene was so like epically shot and so beautiful, because it was a promo.
I didn't remember that. That's cool. I'm reading random notes. I love doing that. I'm just going through Creed. You know, a human can go on living several hours after being decapitated. You're thinking of a chicken. What did I say?
He's definitely a serial killer or something.
Yeah.
Do you think he was the Scranton Strangler? They never caught it.
Oh,
That's very
it's a good possibility.
It's a good theory. It's as good a theory as anyone else.
I think it was Toby.
That makes sense. It's always the quiet one.
It's always the quiet one. And like when he's talking about radon poisoning and Michael says something, Toby says, "You'll see." Like, God damn, dude, that's creepy as fuck.
No, but on a serious note, Toby would have killed Michael a long time ago if it was him.
He would have. Yeah, the whole theory was that Toby became the strangler after Costa Rica, because like it wasn't brought up before that. And then when Toby came back, all these things started happening. And then of course you see his car that's in the parking lot. That's the car that's being used as the getaway on the TV.
Oh, maybe it is Toby then.
And Toby's the only one that's not there during the chase scene. His phone rings and Kelly picks it up and hangs it up. Toby's the only one not in the office.
You're right.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, so there's some credence to it.
Creed?
Creed.
Huh?
I love when Meredith, after she gets hit with the car, she's talking about the pain pills. Creed's like, what'd they give you? Codeine, Vicodin, Percocet, fentanyl, Oxycontin, Paladone?
And then when she says, I don't know, he just shrugs his shoulder like,
he's just like,
you idiot, and walks away.
Jim and Pam are just like, I don't think I've lived half a life Creed has. I mean, I've had some times, but
do you know the only parts of that entire show that were actually filmed in Scranton is the opening scene? Like, not the opening scene, but like the opening credits.
Oh, really?
Like all the buildings that they show, that's the only part of that show that's actually filmed in Scranton.
That was John Krasinski going around filming that himself.
Yes, it was. I know from my research, I didn't write it down, but Satakoy Steel, where Charles Miner formerly worked, fucking Charles Miner. Satakoy Steel was they taped the show on Satakoy Street in Los Angeles. That's where they got that name.
I mean, and they put so much research into that show to make it seem like they were in Pennsylvania. Like they have Utz, the brand, in it. Like there's that one scene where Michael's being interviewed and there's a freaking thing of cheese balls right beside him.
They did a really good job of incorporating that it was Pennsylvania. They always had Sheets magnets hanging around and Froggy stuff.
The Froggy 101 logo.
There's even an episode where Dwight's drinking out of a Sheets MTO cup.
Yeah, they definitely did their homework with that.
Because I hate when shows get that stuff wrong. We're in Alaska and there's palm trees everywhere.
Totally Alaska.
Totally Alaska. Since you're talking about John Krasinski before he actually got this role, John Krasinski, I would say he had about the roughest go at it of any person. I don't know how he got cast. They originally wanted him to read for Dwight, and he absolutely refused, saying he wants to read for Jim. So he almost didn't get the part from that. While he was waiting in the hallway to audition, someone came up to him and asked him, are you nervous? He said, no. He said, I'm not nervous about the audition. He said, what I am nervous about is these Americans always screw up these great shows from Britain, and I don't want them to screw this one up. And the guy that he was talking to ended up being Greg Daniels, who's the executive producer of the show. John Krasinski said, I really think they're going to butcher this. He's like, nice to meet you. I'm Greg Daniels.
I actually do know how he got the job. They talked about it on Office Ladies. Jenna Fisher made it a point to say she would only work with John Krasinski. He was her Jim.
Oh, really?
Yep. She said, I had no better chemistry than with John Krasinski. If he's not my Jim, I'm not your Pam.
Because I know obviously they read with a lot of different people.
I know Angela tried out to be Pam. I didn't know that.
Actually, they tried out for each other's parts, but they were switched.
Oh, okay.
Because of their personalities and how they played the parts.
Rainn Wilson auditioned for Michael Scott. I know that.
Seth Rogen auditioned for Dwight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Seth Rogen was in strong running to play him.
There's a tape of him out there and it doesn't work.
As I say, I don't know if he would have been able to pull
Seth
that off.
Rogen, but it did not work.
Yeah, there's you can find audition tapes. Seth Rogen as Dwight. Adam Scott was auditioning for Jim.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, and also I always butcher it. How do you pronounce John Cho? John Cho was also auditioning for Jim. Of course, we know about Bob Odenkirk. And Jan was originally going to be played by Amy Poehler.
I wouldn't have hated that, I guess.
That wouldn't have been terrible.
They obviously found another role for her. A big role.
I would like to throw out a thing I'm kind of excited about. I don't know if anybody watched Cowboy Bebop back in the day, but they're doing a live-action Cowboy Bebop movie, and John Cho is the main character.
Oh,
really?
Nice.
Yes, I am excited. There's already a small teaser out there for it.
I like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I liked it. It was the only other anime I actually watched back in the day. DBZ and Cowboy Bebop were the only two I watched until I got a little older.
That was the third. I had my other one. And then there's
Zoids,
obviously Dragon Ball Z.
I love how you just have a copy of Zoids ready.
Always.
I always have something ready.
That is hilarious. Yeah, if you guys, obviously this isn't a visual medium, so Mike always has copies of Zoids, Green Lantern, Dragon Ball Evolution. These are true facts. Michael always has these at disposal.
And Final Fantasy 10 and 10 too.
Yep, and Credit Card.
That's the things he's always showing us.
That's true.
This will probably get edited out, which is fine. But the Dragon Ball Evolution is because I never wanted to watch it because I heard how bad it was, and then I became a big fan of Shameless. And the two main characters in Dragon Ball Evolution were the two main characters in Shameless the first 3 seasons. So I was kind of like, oh, I love them in Shameless. Now I have to watch this.
Wait, let me see if I can do this. Justin Chatwin, Emmy Rossum, Dragon Ball's Evolution's based on an anime. Dwight's wearing an anime shirt on the episode Basketball. Boom!
Nailed it.
Back to the office. Nailed it. And probably the one redeeming episode from season 1, Basketball.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty decent episode.
That's a good episode. Maybe healthcare was okay.
I like healthcare.
What was it? Crap. It's first season with the I'm trying to remember. It's not the diversity thing. It's the is it the harassment in the workplace seminar or whatever? It's like episode 2.
That's also in there, yeah. That's Diversity Day. It's the same one.
That's Diversity Day or whatever.
With Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to call you that. Well, that's my name, so
that's that. Okay, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
Diversity Day.
The first season, I always forget the names of the
and
episodes
if you've ever paid attention, he's the same guy doing the Diversity Day at
Stanford.
Stanford when Jim's there.
I did notice that.
And then Jim's boss at Stanford says, well, we have to do another seminar today because of some more incidents over at the Scranton branch. Jim just looks at the camera. Like Jim finally gets a taste of what all those people must go through all the time.
Dude, that whole episode is extremely cringe.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It was meant to be, and it was almost too much.
Actually, that's a good segue.
Yes, it is. So obviously, The Office does not run from cringe. They take it head on. They fully embrace just how uncomfortable they can make the viewing audience, and you still stick around for it.
Begrudgingly sometimes, but yes.
Begrudgingly, right.
Except one episode that skipped quite a few bit.
I still watch it.
What episode could that be?
I don't know, man. I don't know, Mr. Scott. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true?
Maybe I'm obviously in a minority, but I don't find that episode cringe to me. Really,
oh man, you are in the minority.
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't understand why people hate it so badly.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, what happens is really, really fucked up for sure. But I mean, one, you get that really catchy song. I mean,
You do.
come on.
Aaron loves it.
There's a good moment between Aaron and Michael afterwards in that episode.
Yeah, there is.
I also love that Stanley's so happy that it's been 10 years.
Has it been 10 years already? You got meatballed. Stanley has some moments. That idiot's been feeding us for months.
I love Stanley so much.
Jim says, I found out that Stanley only responds to certain pranks, and it's a really weird one. You got meatball. I love how Dwight and Stanley play Jim there.
He says it's very specific.
And it's very specific. And that idiot's been feeding us for months.
We'll never have to buy meatballs again.
Drive fast and leave a sexy corpse. That's one of my mottos. I would love to hear the rest of your mottos.
I've always lived my life trying not to be like Stanley, and now I don't think I'm even good enough.
Now I'm wondering if I can keep up. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a rough area of the show, the whole Florida sequence.
Oh yeah.
I love Stanley in Florida.
Stanley in Florida is amazing. Yeah.
Florida Stanley's happy. Florida Stanley smiles. Florida Stanley's a Stanley you can get behind.
See, I don't hate the Florida stuff. I actually thought it was a good couple episodes.
I think that the friendship between Dwight and Jim became a lot more stronger because of all the Florida stuff.
No, 100%. When Dwight realized he's actually trying to protect his job.
Speaking of characters that we don't care for, I could not stand Nellie at all.
I knew that was going to come up.
Oh, Nellie.
The Florida, that's where she's introduced, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
To be fair, I think Nellie is her absolute cringiest in Florida.
She's actually introduced in the...
the interview episode. Yeah,
the interview.
Yep, you're right. Then she became some more recurring character once the Florida stuff happens, right?
She's in the show from then on, yeah.
I think Nellie's at her worst in Florida and when she first gets to Scranton, like when she takes Andy's office.
Yeah.
After a certain point, I think she's bearable. But she has a bad first impression.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
She does get better.
I didn't mind her, like, because then she kind of like took on the mom role for Aaron, right?
Yeah, because Aaron was sad about being an orphan, and
which I mean that was sweet.
That was part of Andy's digression of being a total dick to Nellie, which I understand why he was mad at her at first, but like when it comes to adopting a kid and stuff, like Jesus, dude.
Like you said earlier, Andy's character progression just tanked. They did him dirty.
Was that like because he went and filmed The Hangover 3? Like, were they mad at him, or why did they?
I don't know. The writers just were probably like, we need a character to go off the deep end and become shitty.
Yeah, and for that matter, why did you record The Hangover 3? But I guess that's another for another day.
1 and 2 are enough.
Yeah. By the way, we're never gonna do an episode about The Hangover.
I've never seen the third one.
Oh, haven't you?
And from what I can tell, that's probably a good thing.
Oh yeah, the first one's a classic. I mean, that's a great
for
comedy.
Sure.
But
the second one's pretty fun too.
I'm probably a bit biased though because Nellie, the Catherine Tate, she was one of the doctor girls from Doctor Who. I knew
it was going to be some Doctor Who bullshit.
See, I
none of us know this. Wait, is Doug a Doctor Who fan?
I don't think so.
When I brought up Doctor Who when we first started doing all this, I think everybody was kind of shocked I was even into it. But she plays Donna in Doctor Who, and I really like her in that show. So I was a little biased when she came into the office. I kind of liked her.
That's fair.
But yeah, she's definitely. I just love the episode where they're helping her move in, and they hire the magician.
Oh my God! Yeah,
they're being so mean to him. And
what the hell?
Robert California says, "Why are Jim and Pam treating that magician so poorly?"
That is a great line.
The way he delivers lines, because he's so just a matter, like it's everything he says is just like a matter of fact kind of way.
He is.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna start doubting my drunk self now.
I got into some reds and how do I say some Colombian whites. Ryan just looks at the camera like God, I love that.
I'm shocked we didn't bring this up. Now you got me thinking about Ryan. I love when Michael goes and starts his own paper company with Pam and Ryan.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Vikram, but Vikram quits pretty quick.
Oh, Vikram, yeah.
Yeah, I love when Ryan's talking to that girl. He's like, I was actually the youngest VP in Dunder Mifflin history. And then Meredith's like, and more recently he worked at a bowling alley. Tell him some of your bowling alley stories. Like, damn, Meredith, what a cock block.
See, she had good moments.
She had moments,
I'm
yeah.
not saying she didn't have any good
Tell
moments.
her some of your bowling stories.
She
Like,
was
why do you
completely
have to be like
unnecessary.
that?
My point is, without Meredith in the show, literally nothing would change.
That's true.
It would still be just as good. You would only not have the fun run episode. That's it.
Well, they could have just found somebody else.
True. I mean, he could have hit.
He could have hit Phyllis.
Anybody else, it might have been a problem. Bob
coulda hit
Vance would have
Phyllis.
killed. If he would have hit Phyllis, Bob Vance would have killed him.
Adrian's like, yes, please hit Phyllis.
Yeah, Meredith was definitely given the least to do out of all the main characters.
Yes.
They tried that whole story arc with her, like, her son. That was like a major pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't care anything. I didn't care for any of that.
To bring your daughter to work day, but she didn't have a daughter.
Yes.
He was kicked out of school, so he had to come with her.
You call your mother Meredith? That's very rude. That's your name, Mr. Poop? Mr. Shroot. The kid's like, Poop? I love how the kid walks away and Dwight just quietly, Shroot.
Did you know that it's the same actor who plays the stripper, the older version?
Oh, yeah. Hey, weren't we just talking about Cringe?
Yes.
When her son is stripping in front of her?
to bring back, and also to bring back that child actor to be the same kid.
Yeah,
and have
yeah.
him strip.
Consistency, though.
Yeah.
There's sometimes consistency is not a good thing.
There's continuity there.
Yeah.
Shroot.
Shroot.
I love that. Like the kid clearly can't hear him anymore. Shroot.
It's like the hanging out playing Nintendo. Cock.
Yeah, it really is. Or what about when Dwight's making the security badges and Jim that came out really good. This is enormous, and I am not a security threat. And my middle name is Kurt, not Fart. Jim's like, what did I write? And then he just looks at the
I
camera.
love that he looks at the camera and smiles. What did I
And
write?
he's like squinting, like, what did I write?
Oh, it's so genius.
Well, that's almost very Creed-like. What did I say?
What did I say?
So Creed's that dude's father? Yes.
Yes. That game, don't listen to Monopoly. That game's crazy. Get out of jail free cards aren't free. They cost hundreds of dollars. Steve Carell's like, that's true.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah. I declare bankruptcy.
That's not how bankruptcy works.
You can't just yell bankruptcy.
I didn't say it. I declared it.
I didn't say it. I declared it. That's not. He says that's nothing.
I love that Oscar line. That's not how.
nothing.
He's like, yeah, but Michael, that's not anything.
Dude, I could just sit here and do lines from the show all night.
Right? Yeah, it's hard not to. Yeah, as far as just wrapping up, anything else you think of that? I know it's hard to say, like cringe moments. A lot of it just comes in the dialogue.
Well, we talked about it earlier. For me, one of the biggest cringe moments is that forced kiss on Oscar, because like just sitting there watching it, like, and then clearly with what Corey said, I probably felt the same way as everybody in that room did. Like, what the is happening right now? Like, you can't do that.
You're right.
The reason it's so cringe for me is because like Oscar wants nothing to do with it. Like,
Exactly.
it's like so fucking bad.
Like even before that, like Oscar lashes out, like, "No, maybe I don't want to touch you." Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, exactly.
You're small and demeaning, and then he's still like, you just feel bad for Michael, so you're like, "Come here, Michael. That was a good idea. Come here." God damn it, Michael.
There's a couple times in the show where people yell at him, like telling him what he needs to hear, and he still doesn't hear it. He just comes out this other side, the same person.
And sometimes they immediately backtrack because they feel bad. Like, nah, sometimes you got to let him live with that. There are moments where you genuinely feel bad, like when he's watching that, the Fundle Bundle, or whatever, that show he's on when he's a kid.
He wanted 100 kids, so he had 100 friends. Yeah.
But that's not like anything he did wrong. It's just like, oh man. Even the little girl's like, are you married? Like, the kid's like, even I have a girlfriend. Like, damn, poor Michael. Yeah, one of the things that always sticks out to me is with Karen when she first comes to Scranton. He's like, "Oh, you're exotic looking. Was your dad a GI?" Like, oh my god,
Filippelli.
Filipel. Her face immediately drops. Like, oh, this is the guy I'm working for.
Oh, that's right. I have heard about this guy.
Yeah, she's so happy coming in talking to Pam. Like, I like your sweater. Like, oh, my mom made it. And then Michael immediately comes up and ruins it. But another huge cringe Michael for me is, we talked about earlier, Hot Girl with Amy Adams. Oh my god, everything he says to her is just like, ew. Like, dude, get the fuck away.
Her face like says it all.
Ew. He like gets her that coffee. He's like, you guzzled it down, you little greedy. I'm like, oh my god, dude. I feel uncomfortable.
And then not only all that, but like when he's in his office with Dwight and he says, "Do you love her?" And he says, "I don't know, it's too early, but yes." Like she didn't hear that. How creepy is that they're talking about that in the room right next to her?
Right next to her. It used to have a window here. It's not there anymore. God damn it, Michael.
Tries to give her the fucking cappuccino machine that he just bought for the gift for everybody.
Hey, is this Wendy? Dude, this is a Wendy's restaurant.
Damn it, Kevin. Give me a baked potato and a chili. Dude, you have to come to the restaurant to get
You have
that?
to come to the restaurant.
Just get it ready for me. It's already ready.
It's already ready. When you said damn it, Kevin, that made me think of one of my favorite Michael lines. And it's so subtle. That's all he says. But it's when he's talking about like, I could have slept with that one girl that worked here and she was hot. Kevin's like, she wasn't that hot. Yes, she was. Damn it, Kevin. I love his delivery in that line.
Or anytime he's mean to Toby, like, why are you like this?
Why are you the way that you are?
Toby's like, I hope we're not all going to sit Indian style. Get out. Everybody's just having a good laugh. Get out. Because this is serious and we don't need people like you ruining it. Poor Toby. Who invited the lemon head? Your life is a waste and you should give up. Like, damn, dude.
He's fucking brutal.
I don't know why. I don't know if there's a backstory there, but Michael hates Toby.
There's got to be something.
There has to be. Oh,
maybe he just hates HR, but that's not because he loves Holly.
Corey, was that you telling me that, or was that just something I saw? Like, you know how on Peacock they have the extended episodes?
Yeah.
Jim says, like during the fire when they're outside playing Desert Island and stuff, Jim says that Michael separated him and Toby because they used to talk too much.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So, like, I wonder if Toby and Jim used to actually be good friends and Michael got jealous and moved them. Like, because, you know, he thinks Jim's
possible.
so cool. So I wonder if that's what happened there.
He still resents him for it.
That's just the best part about sometimes The Office is just the subtlety of the, like, it doesn't have to be a grand moment or an event that's happening. It's just their dialogue. It's so good. That's why I love the show, is the characters. When Toby's talking about taking away Michael's expense card, because he's like, Michael, you just got it back because you bought that magic set. He's like, Toby, I put a cigarette through a freaking quarter. Like, that has nothing to do with anything.
That's not as bad as Andy buying the printer that's good for headshots.
Oh my god, yeah. That is good for headshots. Yeah, I love the dialogue in the show so much.
It's perfect. They couldn't have got a better writing team if they tried. Especially such a good writing team that half of them acted on the show too, and were main characters. It's incredible.
It really is, yeah.
Do you think that they kept everybody, like all the actors' names, like because most of the actors in The Office, their names in the show were the same first names as the actors? Do you think they did that for like an easy thing, or because they didn't actually have names for those characters, so they're just like, oh, well, this is your name. We'll just go with your name.
Yeah, I don't know what the way of thinking was. Creed is literally the one they changed nothing about.
No, yeah, Creed Bratton, that's his name.
He literally is Creed Bratton. They even say Creed Bratton was in the Grassroots in the 60s, and he was. So he's literally just Creed Bratton.
Dwight is manager. Creed is manager. Creed just. What are we doing? We're making. Wait, what is he? Bo body.
We're making acronyms.
Yeah, we're making acronyms.
Bo body.
What's the B stand for, Kevin? Business. I like it.
He's in the office yelling, and he's like, he never even called a meeting. He's just in there talking to nobody.
He never called a meeting. Oh, yeah, I love Creed.
Oh, he's so good. He does a better Joker. Damn it, Creed. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Put a smile on that face.
Well, of course he did a better Joker. He's the serial killer.
Exactly.
It does check out, yeah. Creed and Toby should have been a lot better friends.
Yeah. I think collectively they were both the Scranton Strangler and never realized it.
Oh, there you go. It's like a Scream angle where there's two killers.
But they didn't know.
I'm really upset at myself because I realized that there's a character I forgot side character wise that I loved, and there's a side character that I forgot about that I hate. David Wallace is a great freaking character.
Oh yeah.
We haven't even talked about him at all.
No, we haven't even brought up David Wallace.
I love when he's no longer working for Dunder Mifflin because they get bought out by Sabre.
Sabre. You sure it's not pronounced Saber?
Which also brings me to the character I cannot stand, Gabe. Gabe is terrible.
Gabe.
I might be biased on that one too because I'm a Zach Woods fan, but I liked Gabe. I thought he was great.
Gabe had a few moments. For the most part.
Speaking of cringe, though, yes.
Yeah, he played his role well. I mean, I have over 250 horror movies. Okay, that's such a weird thing to say. And then Jim's in the bathroom with him. Hey, Tuna. And he's all like creeped out.
Gabe, we're going to need you to come back to Florida. Sounds like a promotion. It's not.
It's not. And Dwight says, Gabe, you're a great toilet. I'm just a magnificent piece of crap.
Oh, my God.
And then I love when Gabe like brings Dwight to Robert's place. Robert's like, "Oh, so you showed him where I live?
Come on in, boys." You can just hear the sarcasm in Robert's voice, and he's like, "Alligators are dinosaurs. You know that, Dwight." Dwight's like, "It's tricky." He's like,
You can tell Dwight wants to debate. I'm like, it's tricky. We covered a lot of the bases. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
I mean, do you guys have a favorite character throughout?
Oh God, that's so
it changes.
hard.
It changes over the course, dude. And that I can't just say one's my favorite.
Yeah, probably Val, Daryl's girlfriend.
No, I love that. What's the character's that Evan Peters plays?
Oh yeah, his nephew.
His nephew.
Yeah, that's my favorite character.
Evan Peters.
New Kid sucks.
I like the scarecrow that
Mose
that Mose looked at.
Oh, Mose straight up made love to that scarecrow.
Oh, for sure. Everybody found love at the wedding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I don't really think we have can you say a favorite character? I mean,
yeah, Sam, played by Jack Black.
In the movie they're watching.
I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna say Cloris Leachman then.
There you go.
Just to even that out.
I'm gonna go with Peter Pettigrew.
Wait, what?
I just wanted to talk like serious. Hey, Doug, we're supposed to be doing a Harry Potter episode.
My favorite,
Since he's gonna hear this,
character is probably David Brent.
David Brent.
This is the American Office episode. The
we've
UK
been talking
Office
about the
episode.
American Office this whole time.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I like.
we're gonna have to start over.
I like Charles Vickers. D'Angelo Minor.
If I had to pick, I'm not going to be able to pick one, but I mean, because honestly,
I didn't think so.
Without Jim, Dwight wouldn't have been as good, and without Dwight, Jim wouldn't have been as good. They're probably equally my two favorites.
Well, to be fair, I was just trying to build up so I could say that my favorite consistently throughout the whole show is Creed.
Okay.
I loved him the
Oh.
entire show. I can't help it. Everything he says, he's not focused. A lot of people say that I wish they would have focused a little more on Creed and given him like storylines, but I don't want that. He
No,
was perfect.
that would have ruined the character.
Oh, he was perfect in what he was.
Absolutely.
That guy in the background that you're like, who is that guy? And every once in a while, he says something insane.
From start to finish, I would say I love Daryl.
Yeah, he never really wavered either.
No.
One of my favorite lines in that entire show, and I rewind it every single time, is the Willy Wonka episode when Michael goes down. Hey, idiot. And Daryl just goes, start over.
Start over.
Gives him a chance to start over. I can't help it. I rewind that line every time.
Dink and Flicka. Dink and Flicka.
Flicka.
I want him to get the raise. I can't help myself.
I also taught him a handshake. But you know what? Speaking of which, actually, that episode has one of my most cringeworthy moments is the Michael talks Dwight into taking blame for that idea. And when David Wallace says it's a good thing, he wants the credit. That episode pisses me off. And Jim tries so hard. You're talking to the biggest Wonka fan of all time. Dwight talks about that movie constantly.
Yes. Yep.
And then Pam says, "Thank you for saving the company." And he goes, what does he say? "Not accepted. I'm sorry we doubted you. Not accepted." Or something like that.
Dwight, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, God, I don't even want to say it because I can't say one person, but Dwight's probably my favorite.
Dwight might be overall my favorite character, but consistently Creed did the best things. He made me laugh the most. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think we touched it all.
That's what she said.
Yeah, actually, a great transition. Corey's going to hate this because it's two of his least favorite things. That's what she said was said 58 times in this series, and the first recorded incident of this joke is by Chevy Chase in a 1975 SNL skit. Two things Corey hates: Chevy Chase and Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I don't like either thing.
You mean Chevy Chase, as Corey calls him?
Chevy Chase. I'd say Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't think Chevy Chase deserves that pretentious ass way to say his name, so I call him Chevy as a way to dig him even further.
Poor Chevy.
Poor Chevy Chase.
Nah,
yeah, poor Chevy. He's a fucking asshole. Come at me. Don't.
All right, so I don't know how Doug normally closes these things off. Like, consider subscribing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Just mention your thing real quick.
Plug your thing.
We didn't plug it 7 times this episode this time.
Go watch Adrian's review thing that he does on YouTube. It's great.
See, when I host, you guys found the secret. When I host, I don't plug like crazy because I'm thinking about other things. But when I'm just one of you guys, I'm like, hey, Baker reviews.
Oh, there it is.
If you didn't know, his YouTube channel is called Baker Reviews.
All right, everybody, but that is going to do it for our office extravaganza. If you are into any types of reviews, rankings, reactions, you can check out my channel over on YouTube at Baker Reviews.
I just recently started streaming on Twitch, Miken's Nostalgia. I specifically stream older video games, hence the Nostalgia name. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out.
All right, but that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for all of you who made it to the end of the episode. And hey, if you're still here, why not consider subscribing to our podcast? And we will see you guys next week.